Assalamu alaikum all. I would like to welcome Dr. Durriya Meer. I'm really thankful to her that she has given us some time to talk to you guys about managing stress in your workplace as well as your schools and universities. Just let me introduce Dr. Durriya. She has a PhD or a doctorate of psychology, and as I was stunned to know that she was living until 7 years ago. She was living in Michigan, where I am, and she was in the University of Michigan counseling and psychology services for almost 13 years over there. She is now in Johns Hopkins, and she is the director of training at the counseling center over there. She has been counseling university student for a long time, and basically helping them out to cope their daily issues, anxiety regarding depression, anxiety, stress, family issues, and other. I think it's a great opportunity to all you guys that if you have issues and you can talk about. I understand, but मुझे समझ में आती है कि आप लोगों को ये इतना आसान नहीं होता ये इस तरह की बात को समझना या इस तरह की बात को दूसरों से शेयर करना. ये बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है कभी कभार, लेकिन मैं समझता हूँ कि जितना आप अपने प्रॉब्लम्स को डिस्कस करेंगे उतना ही आपके लिए और आपकी मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए बेहतर होगा. जिस तरह फिजिकल हेल्थ हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है, इसलिए मेंटल हेल्थ भी हमारे लिए उतनी ही इम्पोर्टेंट है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली हमारी जो सोसाइटी है डज नॉट डू इट दैट वे. देयर इज अ स्टिग्मा on all these mental issues. It's not supposed to be there, but unfortunately they are there. So मैं आप सबको encourage करूंगा बेटा कि आप लोग जितना ज्यादा डॉक्टर साहब से क्वेश्चन कर सकें, चाहे अपने मुताल्लिक ना हो, लेकिन अगर आपके अपने फ्रेंड्स का हो, कोई इशू आप देख रहे हो, जो समझ रहे हो उसको, या आपकी फैमिली का इश्यूज हो, वो आप चलें अपने नाम से ना बोलें, किसी और के नाम से बता दीजिए, लेकिन शेयर जरूर करें. I also appreciate that Dr. Meer has also given me permission to give you guys her the contact information, so that if you want to contact her personally, you can always do so. So I'm really grateful that Dr. Durriya has given us this opportunity. I'm really thankful. Dr. Durriya, it's all up to you now.
Thank you, Dr. Sohail. I mean, in fact, when Dr. Asma told me about this, I was really happy because actually I was really honored and touched that aap logon ne, you all thought about me and are giving me this opportunity. And I want to start by welcoming everybody. Assalamu alaikum. I know you all have your mics on mute, so the best way to ask questions, because this is not a video, I can't see who is there, so I will leave some time at the end of my presentation that jab hum ye karenge, you can ask me questions. I also want to tell you that I can speak Urdu, but I get stuck, so मैं इंग्लिश उर्दू में बात करूंगी. एक्चुअली इट्स नॉट रियली एज प्योर उर्दू, इट्स मोर हिंदी उर्दू की मिक्स है. सो मैं बांग्लादेश की हूँ. सो आई ग्रू अप व्हेन आई वाज बोर्न एंड द फर्स्ट 7 years ऑफ माय लाइफ वाज पाकिस्तान. सो द उर्दू आई रिमेंबर इज फ्रॉम दोज डेज, obviously not from recently. So I apologize if I mix it up. और मेरी सारी education is in English, so I'm more comfortable with English when I'm teaching. So if you don't understand, please don't hesitate to ask me जब हम आपके mics खुल जाएंगे तब.
और ये भी कर सकते हैं आप लोग कि अगर आपको कोई अर्जेंट क्वेश्चन हो तो प्राइवेट चैट कर लें मुझसे, या फिर चैट बॉक्स पे अपना क्वेश्चन डाल दें. I can read it out loud to Dr. Meer.
Actually, that will be the best, बिकॉज मुझे वही पसंद है कि वो बातें करते करते दे आस्क क्वेश्चंस, कभी कभी वो जो होता है ना मोमेंट होती है जब क्वेश्चंस पूछने हैं, एंड इफ यू वेट अंटिल द वेरी एंड that moment is lost. So if there is a question, please, Dr. Sohail, आप please मुझे interrupt करें. I'm fine with that.
Great.
Okay. So stress is an everyday thing, right? हम सब stress में होते हैं. आप बैठे हो, सोए हो, जो भी हो, आपके बॉडी के किसी ना किसी पार्ट पे स्ट्रेस गिरती है. आप जब साइड पे सोए होते हैं तो आपके आर्म्स पे स्ट्रेस गिरती है. आप जब बैठे होते हैं तो आपके बैक साइड पे स्ट्रेस गिरती है. अब ऐसा है ना कि स्ट्रेस बाय इटसेल्फ इज नॉट अ बैड थिंग. ये तो हम सोचते हैं कि ओह स्ट्रेस मीन्स समथिंग बैड, लेकिन स्ट्रेस इटसेल्फ इज अ न्यूट्रल वर्ड. हमारी परसेप्शन ऑफ स्ट्रेस इज व्हाट्स प्रॉब्लमैटिक. So in many ways, managing stress is about managing our perception of stress. So let's start with what is stress. Okay. आप ये पिक्चर में देखेंगे कि ये जेब्रा के जो स्ट्राइप्स है सब खुल रहे हैं और the zebra itself is very stretched thin. So this is a pictorial representation of what stress might feel like. आपको लग रहा है कि अब मेरे पास कोई गुंजाइश ही नहीं है कि मेरे ऊपर जो डिमांड्स है वो मैं फुलफिल करूं, या I feel like there is so much, I'm just falling apart. Okay, so I thought this picture was very funny, so मैंने सोचा कि I will incorporate this. But this is a nice way to think about stress. So stress is our brain's response to any demand. तो जैसे मैं अपनी सहेली से कल बात कर रही थी कि I'm really nervous about this presentation, क्योंकि first of all I've never done a webinar before. Secondly, जब भी मैंने ऐसे प्रेजेंटेशन किए हैं तो the students have been in front of me. ये पहली बार है कि I'm talking to a computer. So and most importantly आप लोग पाकिस्तान में हैं. I don't know, I haven't been to Pakistan in 20-25 years, so अभी मुझे पता भी नहीं है कि आपके situation क्या है. So she was saying don't get stressed out. So stress is a natural part of life, right? मुझे पता था अभी 2 मिनट पहले की बात है, my internet was acting up, so Sohail bhai was sending me a message, please join, and I'm like okay, I'm waiting for my computer to boot. So it increased my stress. So stress can be triggered by many stimuli. Stimuli is anything in the environment or internal. Any kind of change will trigger stress. Okay? And these changes can be minor and temporary. जैसे horror movies होते हैं. अभी मैंने जो example दी कि my internet was acting up, so I couldn't turn my laptop on, or I couldn't connect to the webinar. Or it can be major. किसी का इंतकाल हो गया या कोई बीमार है, and you have to, there's a huge loss, there's a huge impact of that. The types of stress, अब मैंने बताया ना, जैसे हम we always think of stress as something negative, लेकिन there's also something called positive stress. And so हम psychology में हम लोग actually we make a distinction between what is positive stress or what is negative stress. Positive stress is called eustress, and negative stress is what we call distress. So the positive stress by itself, positive stress can become negative, and my examples दे रही हूँ. What is problematic is the negative stress. क्योंकि negative stress or distress is something that if it lasts for a long time, it can have major impact on our life. So positive stress is something like छुट्टियां मनाना या शादी या कोई आ रहा हो आपके घर, some close friend or family member that you haven't seen in a long time. All these are positive stress. So still positive stress can also have an impact on us. Okay, but what we have to watch out for is negative stress or distress. Sohail bhai, my voice is coming smoothly. So there are three types of stress or three types of distress that we talk about. One is routine stress. Routine stress is what actually can be the most difficult to manage, because routine stress is something that we face every day. ये जो कहते हैं ना, हर रोज की जो झंझट होती है, हम लोग जैसे कहते हैं this everyday hassles, because हर रोज आपको वो फेस करना पड़ता है. एंड हर रोज आप सुबह उठते हैं और सारे दिन होल डे में, एंड देन गोइंग ऑल द वे टू द इवनिंग सोने तक, it's little things that are happening over and over and over again. So these routine stresses have a cumulative effect. मतलब वो कहते हैं ना, it snowballs, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger unless you manage it in some form of way, or in some way or form. Plus, in addition to the routine stress, you could have a sudden negative change. The example I gave you, death and illness, it can be a sudden negative change. These can be above and beyond the routine stress, and plus these can also be categorized as traumatic events. So one example of a traumatic event is, आपके अल्लाह ना करे अम्मी या अब्बू का इंतकाल हो जाए, so that is a traumatic event, right? That changes our life. That या तो फिर कोई natural disaster like a war, ये terrorism जो हो रही है आजकल, all these are traumatic events. They are negative changes. You are still dealing with your everyday stress, and now this is causing trauma. और हमारी जो mind and body है, it reacts to traumatic events in a very different way. At the same time, though, there are some ways that it is easier to deal with these traumatic events than routine stress. Routine stress, ऐसे है ना, जैसे मैंने कहा कि it is an everyday thing. You have to deal with it whether you like it or not. लेकिन a traumatic event में क्या होता है कि you are not alone in dealing with it. Yeah. So let me give you an example. A routine stress, for example, family problems हो. Family problems आपके family में शायद problems हो, लेकिन किसी और के family में ना भी हो. लेकिन ये जो traumatic event है, जैसे excuse me, for example, like a sudden terrorist attack, hundreds of people get impacted by that, right? So when people get impacted, there is a sense of community. This is not just impacting me, this is also impacting others. So people community feeling becomes very strong. और ये community feeling is a huge source of support, क्योंकि आप सब एक दूसरे को support कर रहे हैं to get better, to get through this traumatic event. So in that sense, a traumatic event has a definite beginning and in some ways a definite end. you know, a traumatic event हुआ, for example, whether it's a terrorist attack or an accident, car accident हुआ, खत्म हो गया. Now you can start the process of healing, whether it's physical healing, you know, whether it's emotional, mental, जो भी बोले. Slides are not working. Let me try again. Okay. अब कोई आपको पूछेगा, do we need stress in our lives? You know, most of us will say no. लेकिन the thing is that not all stress is bad. We need stress to perform. And performance के मतलब, you know, not just वो go on a stage and perform. कोई भी action, कोई भी behavior के लिए हमें थोड़ा stress चाहिए. जैसे आप सोचिए, इम्तिहान के पहले आपको थोड़ी तो एंजाइटी होनी चाहिए ना, नहीं तो आप स्टडी नहीं करेंगे, आप तो बोर हो जाएंगे. आप क्लास में नहीं जाते, सपोज आप आपके लेक्चर में नहीं जाते हैं, नहीं जाने से आपको थोड़ी एंजाइटी तो होगी ना कि अरे मैं अगर मिस करूंगी तो मुझे नोट्स कौन देगा, ये कैसे होगा, वो कैसे होगा. सो we need a little bit of anxiety, we need a little bit of stress to perform. इसे कहते हैं the inverted U curve of performance. इसको ये जो दो psychologists जिसने इसको discover किया, their names were Yerkes and Dodson. तो इसे हम लोग Yerkes-Dodson curve भी कहते हैं. So the inverted U curve of performance, basically आप देख रहे हैं कि on the very left side is boredom or depression, जहां आपकी anxiety level is so low, मतलब it's not really anxiety level is low, आपके energy level is low. आप इतने bored है या तो आप इतने depressed है, इतने sad है कि आपको कोई motivation ही नहीं है performance का. या तो क्या होता है कि आप there is nothing about that event in the environment कि आपको it is telling you कि नहीं, you need to do something. So what we on an individual level and on a class level बोलिए, group level बोलिए, class बोले या company बोले, what we strive for or where we want to be is here, is at the very top and a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. So ये जो हम लोग जो कहते हैं optimal performance जो लिखा है ना, वो that is called peak performance. What that means is that you have given the best performance you can under the circumstances. Yeah. So it is what we call excellence, not perfection, but excellence. So आपने अपने इम्तिहान के लिए you have studied. हो सकता है कि आपने इम्तिहान में इतना अच्छा नहीं किया हो, you know, you may not have performed well, but you know that you studied the best you could under those circumstances. You may receive a 50, you may receive 60 points. That is not the issue. यहाँ at least जो example मैं दे रही हूँ, it is more about what you have accomplished through your effort. मतलब you have given maximum effort. So this part जहाँ जो optimal performance कहते हैं, that is where we all ideally should be. अब ऐसा तो होता नहीं है हमेशा. What happens is that the anxiety gets so strong that we are not able to perform. आप जैसे ये curve में देख रहे हैं कि as the anxiety gets really strong, your performance declines. And then as the anxiety increases, वो stress से anxiety हो जाती है, as the anxiety increases, there is what we call a complete meltdown. मतलब you are not able to perform. वो कहते हैं, शायद आप लोगों में से किसी ने ये एक्सपीरियंस भी किया होगा कि आप स्टडी कर रहे और आप इसमें एग्जाम्स में जाके वो एग्जाम हॉल में बैठे बैठे आपको you cannot remember anything. You feel like you've forgotten everything. That is an example of a complete meltdown. लेकिन आप जब एग्जाम हॉल से निकलते हैं आपको याद आते, you can remember everything. You know, it's not that आपके brain से सब निकल गया है. It's just that at that moment, the anxiety, the worry is so strong that everything else becomes secondary. Okay? So, like I mentioned, we should strive to be at optimal performance. Optimal performance is different for everybody. Optimal performance depends on your unique situation. लेकिन आपकी कोशिश रहनी चाहिए कि you stay at this level of optimal performance, recognizing that staying there 100% of the time is impossible. You know, जिंदगी चलती रहती है, जिंदगी में बहुत कुछ आते हैं, but you go back. Either extreme of the curve is not helpful. Okay. Stress के warning signs and symptoms. Again, this can be categorized into 4 different categories because we react mentally, we react psychologically, we react physically, मतलब अपने bodies से, and we also react behaviorally. हमारे behaviors change. So let's go through each of these categories. Okay. Cognitive symptoms, basically cognitive is to do with the mind, our ability to think. When stress is very high, these are the kinds of problems you might have. और आप देखेंगे that these signs and symptoms are not only a sign of stress, but it's also वो कहते हैं ना, a result of stress. So when you think that I cannot remember these little things, I'm forgetting. When you're not able to concentrate, आप घंटे पे घंटे बैठे बैठे स्टडी कर रहे हैं लेकिन आपको कुछ याद ही नहीं रह रहा है, या तो you are just reading the same page over and over again. These can be signs of stress. And that is a time to step back and think and remember that, you know, I'm getting very stressed. And I'm going to talk about ways you can manage stress. So let's go through the warning signs and symptoms, and then we'll talk about ways to manage stress. Poor judgment. You're not being able to make good decisions. You know, you have to, for example, you have to spend money. You know, आपके घर में कुछ चाहिए आपको, but you're not making a good decision, thinking about all the pros and cons of doing something. It could be poor judgment in terms of for any major or minor decision. So, for example, आपकी शादी हो, and you're not being able to make a good judgment about where you should hold the wedding, or you're not able to make a judgment about what courses I should take. You know, another example is graduation. When you're going to complete your coursework, or you're going to complete your आपके 3-4 years जो है, you know, कहाँ job करना चाहिए मुझे. So poor judgment. Another warning sign is that you're seeing only the negative. Okay, कोई भी situation में pros भी होती हैं, cons भी होती है. Okay. The situation itself may be negative, you know. कभी होता है ना कि अल्लाह ना करे एक accident हो गया, so of course the situation is negative, लेकिन after the accident there is a period of recovery, and that period of recovery में थोड़ी positive भी होती है. For example, अगर आप गाड़ी में जा रहे हो और you are the driver of a car and an accident happens, it may teach you कि भाई I'm not ready to drive a car, or I need to drive slowly, or I need to pay better attention. Okay, on the surface, yes, that accident is negative, लेकिन उसमें से हम जब थोड़ा भी positive नहीं निकाल सकते हैं, so then you know that is a sign of stress. Having said that, I do want to say that there are some situations जिसमें it's impossible to see something positive. Like Allah na kare किसी ने अगर suicide किया, there's nothing positive about that. लेकिन on the flip side, you can also think कि जब कोई suicide करता है तो उनके जो family वाले हैं, they come closer together. You know, parents may realize, or brothers and sisters may realize कि भाई we need to be there for each other. But on the, you know, the suicide itself is a horribly traumatic thing, and so it is very hard to see that there is something positive about that. So to repeat, there may be nothing positive about the situation itself, लेकिन उसकी जो results है, उसकी जो consequences है, उसमें कुछ अच्छा निकल सकता है. And so when you are under stress, it's hard to see anything positive. Anxiety or racing thoughts, you know, that is an example is you're thinking too many things at the same time. मुझे ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, मुझे यहाँ भी जाना है, वहाँ भी जाना है. You know, you cannot. One way to say it is वो शांति नहीं है, peace नहीं है. So you're not able to quiet your thoughts. There is constant worry about क्या होगा, क्या होगा, क्या होगा, क्या होगा. And worrying is a part of life, right? Will I do well in my exams? Will you know, आपके अम्मी अब्बू या भाई बहन कोई बीमार हो तो आप सोच सकते हैं कि you know, will they get better? Of course, worry is also a sign of caring, right? When you care about something, you worry about it. लेकिन ये जो constant worrying है, which prevents you from getting sleep, which is impacting your health, that is what we are talking about. Emotional symptoms. Yeah. Emotional symptoms have to do with our emotions, with our emotional well-being. So depression या general unhappiness. And आप देखेंगे that all the signs and symptoms जो मैं बता रही हूँ that are on the screen, they're all linked to each other. ऐसे नहीं है कि आपको एक होगा और दूसरा नहीं होगा. You know, you might feel all of them, you might feel a few of them. And for example, anxiety is a thought problem as well as an emotional problem. So they are not mutually exclusive categories. Okay. So depression or general unhappiness. अब psychological terms में हम depression और unhappiness में we make a distinction. अब हमें एक आदत सी हो गई है, we often talk about, oh, I'm very depressed. लेकिन depression के साथ, depression has certain signs and symptoms that are not present in sadness, for example, or unhappiness, for example. So depression में, for example, depression के थोड़े signs and symptoms है that it usually lasts for a period of time, minimum of 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, you may not be able to sleep, you may be sleeping too much, you may not be able to eat, you may be eating too much. Okay, वो क्या कहते हैं, depression के साथ is also a sense of hopelessness. Okay, कि जो भी करूँगी मैं, there is no chance of anything getting better. That mindset कि nothing will get better. It's one example is कि आप or one way to describe depression is that there's always this dark cloud hanging over you, or you are covered in this dark cloud. You know, people have described depression like that. Anxiety and agitation. Agitation in another way of saying racing thoughts. You know, you're always thinking. या तो आप बैठ नहीं सकते. You know, बहुत होते हैं ना, like a lot of people, whether they are on the phone or whether they are doing something, they're constantly walking around. वो 5 मिनट भी बैठ नहीं सकते हैं. So that is physical agitation. That's an example. So आपके mind में भी वही हो रहा है कि you cannot stay on one thought for even a single moment. You're jumping from thought to thought. Moodiness, irritability, anger, you know, छोटी-छोटी बातों में गुस्सा करना. या तो, you know, एक minute you are fine, the next minute you don't want to talk to anybody. Your mood is वो जो कहते हैं हम लोग swinging, going from one to the other, from good to bad. So, you know, आपके friends कह रहे हैं कि what is wrong with you? एक minute आप ठीक है, एक minute में आप ऐसे हो जाते हैं. That is moodiness. Feeling like मेरे प्लेट में इतना खाना है कि अब सब गिर जाएगा. So that is the feeling of the English में हम metaphor use करते हैं too much on my plate. So there is so much little big combination of little and big things that you're not able to address any one thing. कि एक चीज करो तो दूसरी चीज रह जाती है. But then I have to do that, and when I do number 2, then I have to do number 3. So you're constantly moving from task to task. You're constantly thinking कि भाई I can't just do one thing. जब आपके इम्तिहान होती है, you know, when you have exams, papers, one day after the other, you know you have to study for all of them. You're trying to study for one, लेकिन आपको फिर लगता है नहीं, I should study for another subject. नहीं, I should study for another subject. That's the feeling of being overwhelmed. Loneliness or isolation. See, Pakistan, from what I know of Pakistan, and from my Pakistani friends, you know, there isn't a lot of difference between, I mean, I shouldn't say that. There is a lot of difference between India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, of course. Lekin, in a way, the culture is different, right? There's a lot of similarities between the culture. So, one good thing about our culture is that it doesn't let you be very lonely, because हम लोग सब joint families में रहते हैं. हम लोग सब, you know, we have good groups of friends, generally speaking. Okay? जैसे US में, ये culture में, it is a huge problem. You know, people live alone. People are disconnected from their family. They are disconnected from friends. They are disconnected from the larger community. So they feel like even when they are in a crowd, they feel they are lonely. कि मेरा कोई नहीं है. It is less prevalent in our cultures, in the South Asian culture. लेकिन फिर भी हो सकता है. Right? When we think कि यार कोई तो हो जो मुझे समझ सके, कोई तो हो जो समझ सके कि what I am going through. That is a feeling of loneliness. Yeah? You may have good relationships with your family. You may have good relationships with your friends, even with your professors. लेकिन that feeling of nobody understands what I am going through. So loneliness is a state of mind. Being alone is, you know, being by yourself. हम लोग we use the term loneliness and being alone very interchangeably. कि alone भी कहते हैं, lonely भी कहते हैं. लेकिन there is a difference. Loneliness is a state of mind. So you may not feel lonely even if you are alone. Like मैं अकेली रहती हूँ, हाँ? But I don't feel lonely. First of all, because I'm used to it. Secondly, जब मुझे कुछ करना हो, दूसरों के साथ मैं कर सकती हूँ. Or thirdly, you know, I enjoy my time by myself. जब मैं अपना घर, I like doing, you know, craft work, ये embroidery बोले या कुछ बनाना बोले. So I enjoy that. So I don't feel lonely. Whereas there may be somebody who's living in a family, lekin they feel that nobody in that household understands them. So they are not alone, they are lonely. Okay? There can be other mental or emotional health issues also. Like I said, besides depression, anxiety, sometimes it can lead to ongoing depression that has been there for a long time. And that depression can lead to some other mental health problem. In fact, loneliness is both a cause and an effect of depression also. Okay, other signs and symptoms, physical symptoms. ये सारे बदन में दर्द होना, you have a headache, for example. अभी 2 हफ्ते पहले I had a headache that just was not going. I was suffering from that headache for almost 15 days, और फिर मैं last week I went for, यहाँ हमारे जो massage therapists होते हैं, they are trained people who do massage. तो वो मेरी मसाज थेरेपिस्ट बता रही थी कि आपके शोल्डर्स के मसल्स में और आपके नेक के मसल्स इतने टाइट हो गए हैं कि आई कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग. So she was saying that that's probably the reason for your headache, and basically that tightness was because of stress and tension. Because I had a conference, और conference में मुझे present करना था. It was presenting on a topic that I didn't know a lot about. I didn't know my co-presenters. I was going to meet them at the conference, so I was really stressed out about that. And the same thing about today, like I said, I've never done a webinar before, so and I really don't know who's on the other side. सोहेल भाई के साथ भी मैंने सिर्फ बातें की है on the phone. I don't know him, he doesn't know me, right? So आप भी मुझे नहीं पहचानते हैं, तो there is a stress about that. And मेरे लिए I carry stress on the shoulder neck area, तो आज मुझे for example, मेरे left side पे थोड़ा दर्द है. And I know that it's stress related, and I know that ये presentation over होगा, तो उसके बाद I'll be okay. But the thing is that my stress is coming out in a physical way. So aches and pains, GI problems, stomach upset, constant stomach upset, even though you have not eaten anything, वो रास्ते से कुछ खाया नहीं होगा या ऐसे कुछ खाया नहीं होगा, फिर भी GI problems हो रहे हैं. GI stands for gastrointestinal, which many of you may already know, of course. Nausea and dizziness. Dizziness, चक्कर आना, मुझे बहुत आता है. Like I get dizzy a lot, and doctors ने बहुत कुछ किया है, लेकिन finally one doctor said that it could be because of stress. I don't think that it's because of stress, because I get dizzy even when I'm not stressed. लेकिन डॉक्टर से मुझे आर्ग्यू नहीं करना है, इसलिए मैंने कहा ओके हो सकता है. चेस्ट पेन, ये चेस्ट एरिया में टाइटनेस भी हो जाती है, एंड एलिवेटेड बिकॉज ऑफ द इंक्रीज हार्ट रेट देयर इज अ पेन ऑल्सो. सो like for instance, I can tell you, abhi jab I was having problems with my internet and I couldn't log on, my heart rate increased. I could feel my heart beating more. So these are some signs and symptoms. Nasla ho jana, over and over again, over nasla or bukhar. This is and you are not the kind of person. अब हो सकता है ना कि आप, some of you may have better physical health ऐसे generally में, and some of you may not. Some people are more prone to getting sick. That may just be physical, not necessarily it's a sign of stress. Lekin for somebody who doesn't get sick and you're getting sick, then that could be a sign of stress. Some behaviors that you may see, you know, whole day थोड़ा snack करते रहना when you are not used to doing that, or not eating, sleeping too much or too little. If I can go back just for a moment, you can see that social isolation is both an emotional and a behavioral symptom. You know, feeling like, yeah, this is the distinction between aloneness and loneliness. So loneliness is, like I said, a state of mind, and यहाँ जो behavioral symptom जो कहते हैं social isolation, where आपके friends आपको phone कर रहे हैं, चलो बाहर चलते हैं, आप मना कर रहे हैं, आपके family members कहीं जाना चाहते हैं, आप मना कर रहे हैं, आप अपने room, अगर आपके पास, you know, if you have your own room, you're sitting in your room, or you're not talking to anybody even when you are among people. So that's an actual behavioral social isolation. Procrastination is when you know you have to do something but you keep doing something else. So आपको पता है कि कल आपकी इम्तिहान है, you need to study, पर आप टीवी देख रहे हैं, या तो आप किसी से बातें कर रहे हैं, या तो आप बाहर जा रहे हैं. You're not doing what you are supposed to do. And that behavior can actually increase anxiety, lead to more anxiety. Using शराब पीना, या किसी सिगरेट पीना, या किसी और drugs में गिर जाना, these are all behavioral systems or behavioral symptoms. Nervous habits like नाखून bite करना, you know, pulling your hair. This can have serious effect. Like आप अगर नाखून, if you are biting your nails, you know, after a while there can be an infection. Hair pulling, you know, when you are studying, लड़कियों में शायद ज़्यादा है ये, you know, pulling our hair when we are nervous, and that can make your roots weak, and it can actually cause your hair to fall out. So these are examples of nervous habits. Okay, how to cope with stress and anxiety. Coping strategies, what I want to tell you is that not everything is applicable to everybody. Yeah, the way I cope may be very different from the way you cope, and that is okay. Lekin the important thing is that you cope. The most important thing is that you recognize, yes, I'm stressed, and I need to do something. Okay? So coping strategies can also be negative. Okay, this is just a cartoon I found. कि वो यहाँ, I don't know पाकिस्तान में मिलता है कि नहीं, but यहाँ you get these stress balls. These are like these stuffed balls, जो you know, you just इसकी तरह है, वो modeling clay होती है ना, तो you just press hard on it, you know, and it's a way of relieving stress. So your stress ball is for you. You don't throw it at somebody else. It's not a way to cope with stress. So it's that this is telling you that no, this is not, throwing something at somebody is not a way of coping with stress, even if it's like a soft thing like a stress ball. Okay. So some negative ways of coping. Again, you will see that some of the very signs and symptoms of coping can also be a way that you cope with it. I mean, some of the signs and symptoms of stress can also be a way of coping with stress. So, misusing alcohol, drugs, or other substances. You know, we all know that in a Muslim country like Pakistan, you know, it's not easy to get alcohol, and maybe the percentage is lower than in a country like USA, because यहाँ, after you are a certain age, you can openly drink alcohol. You can obviously, and alcohol is part of the culture here. Okay, अभी last few years में marijuana, वो जो हम लोग hashish, not hashish, क्या कहते हैं उसे, I'm forgetting, but weed, marijuana, that has become very openly used. Some states have made it legal. Some states, हमारे Maryland में अभी तक तो illegal है. So, you know, these are illegal substances. So, alcohol, even though it is openly available under the age of 18, it is illegal to drink. लेकिन मैं जो स्टूडेंट्स के साथ काम करती हूँ, उन लोग सीक्रेटली पीते हैं एंड दे ड्रिंक विद देयर फ्रेंड्स. इट्स अ वे ऑफ कोपिंग विद स्ट्रेस. Smoking weed, that is another way that they are. And मेरे ऑफिस में बहुत स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं जो कहते हैं कि हाँ मैं पीती हूँ या मैं पीता हूँ, और ड्रग्स भी करते हैं बिकॉज दैट्स द ओनली वे टू कोप विद स्ट्रेस. बट दोज आर नॉट हेल्पिंग, क्योंकि वो तब शायद आपको हेल्प कर भी ले, लेकिन लेटर यू आर गोइंग टू हैव प्रॉब्लम. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ड्रिंकिंग अल्कोहल इम्पैक्ट्स योर मेमोरी. So drinking alcohol, sharab peena over and over and over again, and drinking in a lot of quantities can impact your memory. आपके brain cells मर जाते हैं. Ignoring the problem, pretending like कोई problem है ही नहीं. So this is, I'm going to come to this in the next slide as to how to cope. A positive strategy. Ignoring the problem is different than distracting yourself. Okay, so ignoring the problem, I'm going to leave it for now. I will come back to it when I'm talking about distraction, which is a positive way of coping with stress. Sleeping too much or too little, रात जागना और study करना is not going to help you. Our body needs sleep, and there is a lot of research that shows that too little sleep, you are not going to be able to function. Then you start using other substances, coffee या चाय पीनी. अब हमारे कल्चर में तो चाय is a given, लेकिन drinking lots and lots of tea because tea में caffeine है, या tea या coffee में caffeine है, that keeps you awake. Okay, because you're not sleeping enough. Dwelling on the negative, हाय मेरे साथ ये क्या हो गया, क्यों मेरे साथ ही ऐसा हुआ, क्यों मेरी जिंदगी ऐसी क्यों है. yes, आप environment को change नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन constantly focusing on the negative makes the situation worse. Okay, so even in a negative situation, if you can just step aside for a few seconds and think of, okay, मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ, okay, how can I change, how can I change the situation, that can be helpful. Eating too much or too little, eating too much can, and it's not just eating too much in quantity, it's also eating unhealthy food. So ये जो junk food, obviously junk food in Pakistan is a little different than the junk food here, हालांकि वहाँ भी तो burgers वगैरह मिलते हैं. Those are what we call empty calories. They will make you feel full, but they are not giving you nutrition, which is what you need for your brain to function. Okay, खाना नहीं खाना, वो भी ठीक नहीं, वो भी सही नहीं है. 24 घंटे में आपने सिर्फ 10 कप चाय पी है. That's not okay. Watching endless hours of TV. TV हम सब देखते हैं, लेकिन if you are doing that because you don't want to deal with the situation, that's not a good sign. Again, withdrawing from friends or partners. Now, partners, I should have changed the word. Like in partners, basically means girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, जो भी. So यहाँ अब US में they don't like to use girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife. They want us to use psychology में they want us to use the term partners. So either आप अपने friends या boyfriend, girlfriend हो, husband, wife हो, उनके साथ बैठ के बातें नहीं कर रहे, या तो फिर आप उल्टा कर रहे हैं कि आप suddenly आपको problem नहीं solve करनी हो तो आप ओके चलो आज ये इस मूवी में जा रहे हैं, कल वो होटल में जा रहे हैं, परसों वहाँ किसी ट्रिप पे जा रहे हैं, but it is not because you want to do that, it is because that's the only way you can avoid your situation. Okay, so these are all negative ways of coping with the situation, and they can actually make the situation worse, means matlab the stress worse, because the problem is still there, right? Okay, lashing out at others in emotionally or physically violent outbursts. आपके घर पे छोटे बच्चे हो और आप इतने irritated हो जाए कि आपने उसे एक थप्पड़ मार दिया या आपने किसी पे गुस्सा कर दिया. These are all ways of negatively coping with stress. But at the same time, these are also the signs that should tell you, okay, I am really stressed. I need to take a few moments to just think about what's going on and deal with the situation. Okay, so coping with stress includes all these different things. Okay, and including all these different things, if you manage stress by using sort of physical means, psychological, social, emotional, spiritual, all these different areas, you will be better able to cope with stress. And actually मैं क्या करूँगी, मैं सोहेल भाई को I have some handouts that I think will be helpful. So मैं क्या करूँगी, आप सोहेल भाई को email कर दूँगी and then he can send it along if that's possible. Sohail bhai, is that possible? Okay, I can't hear. Okay.
Yeah, so it will be possible. Don't worry. Yeah, we can do that. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay, because I have a bunch of handouts that I've used, and I think they'll like it just to have it with them.
Yeah, I think that will be great.
Yeah, just to let you know though, when you send them the email, please let them know that these are very culturally bound, you know, यहाँ के है सब strategies.
Yep.
So they should adapt as they go along.
Sure.
Okay. So some things that we can do, okay? Breathing exercises. I will send you, मैं जो handout भेजूंगी ना, उसमें there is an example of a breathing exercise that you can do. You just have to do it 5 minutes. You know, 5 minutes क्या, 1 minute, but throughout the day. या तो फिर आपके पास थोड़ा बहुत time हो, तो just sit back and practice those exercises. Because what happens is that calms our body down, and when our body is calmer, our mind is calmer. When our mind is calmer, our body is calmer. So mind-body की जो connection है, that's very important. So these breathing exercises and actually all these strategies help with that. Low stress diet basically means कि junk food नहीं खाना. Eat healthy. Eat things that will give you nutrition that will help your brain to function properly. Regular exercise. You know, and again, regular exercise doesn't mean that आप कोई hi-fi gym में जाके आपने exercise कर लिया, नहीं. Regular exercise can just be as simple as आप अपने घर पे थोड़ी 5 minutes jogging कर ली, या तो आपने 5 minutes योगा कर लिया. आप सबके पास I am sure YouTube तो है, तो YouTube पे जाएंगे ना, तो आपको 30 minute क्या 2 minute yoga, 1 minute exercise, ऐसे सब मिलते हैं. उसमें actually YouTube में आप you will also find these breathing exercises. So that is one way you can do 30 seconds, 1 minute. Okay? So regular exercise आपने suppose आप बस में travel करते हो, तो maybe you can get down one stop further and walk a little bit. या तो आप lift नहीं लेके आपने सीढ़ियाँ चढ़ ली. These are all these are all ways of moving your body that can help. Downtime means just in a day, थोड़ा आप अपने आप के लिए रखें. And again, अपने आप के लिए जो थोड़ा time, जो down time जो हम लोग कहते हैं, that is a time when, for example, you are not on your computer, you are not watching TV, you are not on your phone. Okay, it is you are completely cut off from everything that connects you electronically or in any way with the environment. And downtime does not have to be in a private space. Okay, it can just be कि जब मैं खाना खा रही हूँ, okay, मैं अपना फोन नहीं देखूंगी या मैं टीवी नहीं देखूंगी. ये मुझे भी बहुत बुरी आदत है. मैं है ना, जब भी मैं नाश्ता करती हूँ या खाना खाती हूँ ना, तब मैं न्यूज़ पढ़ती हूँ या न्यूज़ देखती हूँ. and it is not a good thing. I tell myself I need to do that. So actually, since the last 2 days I've stopped, and it really makes a difference, believe me. All I'm doing is that जब मैं चाय पीती हूँ evening में, so I don't watch anything, I don't look at my phone. I'm just sitting and drinking tea. And those 5 minutes are wonderful. So that's downtime. Mini breaks is आप जो भी कुछ करें, take mini breaks. सब कुछ एक funny analog है mini breaks के लिए. Funny example है कि आपके हाथ में जब एक burger होती है तो you don't put the whole burger in your mouth. You eat it bite by bite, right? That's exactly what mini breaks mean. That आप जब कुछ भी कर रहे हो, try and study for, actually this is a very good, आप लोगों में से जिनको concentration की problems हो, उसको मैं ये advice दे रही हूँ कि आप ना 20 minutes study करें. 20 minutes study करें, 5 minute break ले. 20 minutes study करें, 5 minute break ले. ऐसे आप जब 3 बार 20 minutes complete करें तो फिर आप 15 minutes break ले. There's a name for this, it's called the Pomodoro method, लेकिन it has found to be very effective in studying. Okay? So आपके body पे stress कम है, आपके mind पे stress कम है, because आप अपने दिमाग को ये बोल रहे हैं कि I'm only studying for 20 minutes. Okay, then I'm taking a 5-minute break. And 5-minute break should be, okay, मैं जाके जरा पानी पी लूँ, या मैंने थोड़ा stretch कर लिया, something like that. Okay? Not a long break. If the break becomes longer than your study time, that is a problem. Sleep hygiene is कि आप generally आप जहाँ सोते हैं वहाँ study नहीं करना चाहिए. I know, I also recognize that not all of us have the luxury to do that, because we share a room, there is only that space. लेकिन फिर आप sleep, when you sleep, at least आपके कपड़े साफ होने चाहिए, आपकी वो जगह है जो सोने की जगह है वो साफ होनी चाहिए. So little things that you can do. Okay, and especially for those people who have sleep problems, these become very important. Okay, choosing a non-toxic environment. Now this is देखिए जिंदगी में बहुत situations है, जैसे मेरे ऑफिस में अभी बहुत problems चल रहे हैं. Okay, so मेरे पास I have 3 options. I can either change the environment, I can change myself, or I can leave the environment. अब environment मतलब जो ये मेरी ऑफिस में जो problems है, I cannot change it for everyone. Yeah. Hello.
आपकी आवाज जरा कट रही है. आपकी आवाज थोड़ी सी कट गई थी. If you can please repeat the last
yeah, sure.
Couple of 1 minute, whatever you have said in 1 minute, last 1 minute.
Okay, so I was talking about the non-toxic environment. अब आ रही है? Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, it's perfect.
I don't know what happened. शायद अच्छा, maybe I moved the laptop too far. Non-toxic environment. So toxic environment is something that is difficult for us. It's an unhealthy environment. Am I on hold? Okay.
No, you are not. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't know what happened. It suddenly said my line is on hold.
Joshua, don't worry. That's fine.
Okay. So non-toxic environment is a healthy environment. Now, when we are in a toxic environment, okay, toxic environment is a unhealthy environment, and ऐसे environment में, situation में, there are 1 of 3 things we can do. Like जैसे मैंने बताया कि मेरे ऑफिस में अभी बहुत problems चल रहे हैं. People are very unhappy with our director. अब मेरे बस में there are 3 things कि मैं ये ऑफिस छोड़ दूं, मैं ऑफिस की जो माहौल है वो बदल दूं, या तो मैं अपने आप को बदल दूं. ओके, अब ऑफिस तो मैं नहीं छोड़ सकती हूँ because this is a job, I have to do it. I cannot change everybody in the environment. what I can do is change myself, change my behavior. So within that unhealthy environment, what I am trying to do is, I am trying to be a different person. I'm trying to take things not very seriously. Sorry, I should have said, I'm trying to take things, I'm not, trying not to take things personally. कि कोई अगर गुस्सा करता हो, कोई अगर मेरे साथ बदतमीजी करे, तो मैं ये सोचती हूँ कि this is not personal to me. This is because of their life, what is happening to them. So that is helping me manage this environment. You know, हमारे घर में प्रॉब्लम्स हो सकते हैं, राइट? फैमिली प्रॉब्लम्स हो सकते हैं. फैमिली को छोड़ के तो हम नहीं जा सकते हैं ना. तो विदिन दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट आपके क्लास में बुली हो सकते हैं. यू नो, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु विल मेक लाइफ वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर यू. आप उनको तो नहीं चेंज कर सकते हैं, आप अपने स्टडीज तो नहीं छोड़ सकते हैं, लेकिन आप ये सोच सकते हैं कि भाई जब ऐसा कुछ होता है, कोई मुझे बुली करता है, कोई मेरे साथ बदतमीजी करते हैं, कोई मेरे साथ बदतमीजी करता है, तो मैं अपने फ्रेंड से जाके बात करूं, मैं अपने माँ से जाके बात करूं, या बाप से बात करूं, अबू अम्मू से बात करूं, या तो मैं किसी कोई प्रोफेसर से बात करूं. All that sharing helps. Okay, sharing with each other, sharing with somebody. आप बहुत लकी है कि आपके पास आप ये सोहेल भाई है, आसमा बाजी है, and I'm sure there are a lot of other people. So I would say use them. Use them मतलब call them, email them, whatever, and tell them what the situation is going. हम सब बहुत दूर बैठे हैं and हम आपकी situation change तो नहीं कर सकते हैं, लेकिन हम आपके जो ये burden है वो share कर सकते हैं. Okay, one change also you can make is time management. How you manage your time. Or I don't know, my laptop is giving me so many problems.
You're okay. Go ahead.
I'm okay. My slides are giving me problems.
Let's do this thing. Yeah, click on 14.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Click on 14 and then just click over here and go.
Oh, sorry.
No problem. If you always click the bottom one, where you on the bottom left, on the bottom right. On the bottom right, that will be the best way to go on.
I don't know why it's getting stuck.
Yeah, bottom right, next to the negative. Yeah, this one.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Go ahead, please.
अच्छा, ठीक है. Yeah. So one way to manage your time is to prioritize your task list. Basically, आप सुबह उठ के या तो शाम को सोने के पहले, रात को सोने के पहले make a task list. Okay? कि मुझे कल उठ के या आज पूरे दिन में ये करना है, और वो टास्क लिस्ट को फिर आप प्रायोरिटाइज करेंगे. मतलब आप देखेंगे कि कौन सी चीज सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट एंड अर्जेंट है, एंड कौन सी चीज you go through each of these 4 quadrants and put your tasks in this. So I'll give you an example. Important and urgent जो top right पे है, important and urgent is for example your exam. कल आपके अगर कल if you have an imtihan, that is your most important and urgent task. Important but not urgent is an example of an exam you have next week. Okay, it is important but urgent नहीं है. Urgent but not important is something like क्या example do? You have to fill the आपको शायद किसी आपको आपके प्रोफेसर के साथ बात करनी हो. Okay, yes, it is urgent because you have to do it within a certain time, but it may not be as important right now. या तो आपके किसी फ्रेंड से झगड़ा हो गया हो and now you want to talk to them. Yes, it is urgent. You want to do that, and we are human beings, right? We don't like bad things happening. You want to take care of it right away. But it's not the most important thing. May not be the most important thing. Okay, neither important nor urgent, so anybody can tell that it's something that can wait. अच्छा, urgent but not important में मैं एक example दे रही हूँ. I think it's a better example, but it's a funny example. Okay, suppose theater में कोई movie लगी हो, हाँ, and that movie is supposed to like 2 दिन बाकी है. Yes, it is urgent, time limited है, लेकिन it's really not important, right? आप फिर देख सकते हो movie. So that is just to give you an example of the different quadrants. Again, I'm going to send this as a handout. Some emotional strategies. ये सब है ना, मैंने actually I talked about it already. Most of them. Social support and relatedness. मतलब seeking out people that you can talk to. So whether it is via, of course, face-to-face is the best. If you have one person that you can talk to, it is the best thing that you can do, face-to-face. Face-to-face ना हो तो video chat ना हो तो text, जो भी हो, but seeking out other people. ये loneliness जो है ना, loneliness, ये बहुत खराब बीमारी है. And a lot of the problems we have is because of this loneliness, because many times we think that there is no one in our life. Okay? It doesn't have to be somebody like a friend, it doesn't have to be a family member, it could be somebody totally that you हो सकता है आपके वहाँ neighborhood में कोई मौलवी हो, कोई भी हो, कोई इमाम हो, कोई भी. Okay? Self-nurturing basically means taking care of yourself. सही से खाना खाना, सही से सो जाना, सही टाइम पे उठना. Make sure that you have a routine. Routine can help. Good communication and assertiveness. कभी आपको कोई मसला हुआ तो let the other person know कि मुझे जो आपने जो बात की और या तो आपने जो बिहेव की मुझे खराब लगा है, प्लीज ऐसे ना करें. You don't have to get into a fight with them. You can just tell them very nicely and gently. Playtime is, take some time out to just be a child. Whether it is, going out and playing cricket. So, cricket तो हमारे इसमें countries में बहुत खेलते हैं, या तो कोई दूसरी गेम, बोर्ड गेम हो, लूडो, कैरम बोर्ड, वो सब मैं तो नहीं खेल सकती हूँ, मैं अकेली हूँ, तो अपने भाई बहन हो या कोई भी हो उसके साथ थोड़ी देर खेल ले. Emotional release, रोना is we say, oh, I don't want to cry in front of others. लेकिन believe me, मैं हमेशा my stand is that the person who can cry is a very strong person, because that is the person who knows that I need to cry. That is the person who is truly in touch with their feelings. Okay, so ठीक है, आप में से बहुत है जो you cannot cry in front of others. Go to the bathroom and cry. Go somewhere where you have 5 minutes where you can release your emotions. अपने आप पे हंसना, situation पे हंसना. कभी होता है ना कि हमने कभी ऐसा कुछ कर दिया that we keep thinking about it. Oh, मुझे ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. मैंने ये क्या कह दिया. I was so silly. I was so stupid. हम ना 24 घंटे अपने आप को गालियां देते रहते हैं. क्यों? अरे laugh at it. It's over and done with. Laugh कि अरे यार मैंने क्या कर दिया, अब मैं नहीं करूंगी. Okay? Cognitive strategies. Constructive thinking. Let me wait on constructive thinking because I do want to talk about distraction. If you remember, मैंने पहले कहा था कि distraction is different than ignoring the problem. Ignoring the problem में you are pretending like there is no problem. लेकिन distraction में क्या है कि आप सोच रहे हैं कि अच्छा ये problem है, ये मसला है, लेकिन अब थोड़ी देर के लिए I'm not going to think about this. I'm not going to work on this. Suppose जब मैं, when I was in school, math was never something that I liked or that I enjoyed. सो होता था क्या कि मैं जब मैथ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने बैठती थी मैं इतनी फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हो जाती थी कि आई कुडंट थिंक। तो मेरी अम्मी हमेशा मुझे कहती थी कि बेटा थोड़ी देर आप इधर से हट जाओ, आप जस्ट पुट द प्रॉब्लम अवे एंड कम बैक टू इट, दैट इज अ डिस्ट्रैक्शन। और कभी कभी मैंने एग्जाम्स में भी ऐसे, एग्जाम हॉल में बैठ के भी ऐसे किया है कि आई जस्ट कुड नॉट सॉल्व इट, तो आई वुड गो, अब आई नो योर सिचुएशन में बी डिफरेंट, बट I would just put my head down on the table and just 2-3 minutes I would try not to think about it and then come back to it. That is a distraction. That can be helpful. But ignoring the problem is if I behave like, okay, mere koi homeworks hai hi nahi. That is not right. Task-oriented approach is thinking about what the problem is. What are the solutions I can go for? So, okay, I have a math problem, I have to solve it, what can I do? Rather than thinking, oh my God, मेरे पास इतने problems हैं, मैं क्या करूँ, मेरे से नहीं हो रहा है, so on and so forth. That's an emotion focused approach that does not focus on the task. So make it task oriented. And the last two, acceptance and tolerance for ambiguity, sort of go together. Okay? जिंदगी में बहुत सारे मसले हैं that we cannot solve. We cannot plan for everything. Accept it. Okay? हमारे जो हुजूर है, आप शायद पहचानते होंगे, मैं मैं शिया हूँ, मैं बोरी हूँ, तो वो हमारे जो हुजूर है सैयदना मुफद्दल, उनके जो अब्बू थे, अब्बा जान थे, सैयदना मोहम्मद कुरान जब हमेशा कहते थे कि देखो बारिश तो आएगी, लेकिन आप छतरी लेके निकले ना, आप रेनकोट लेके निकले। आप बाहर निकल के बोले अरे वो तो बारिश आ रही है, मैं भीग जाऊंगी, अब क्या होगा? That is not right. You cannot change the weather, but you can change what you do. So अब मुझे तो पता नहीं है अब बारिश होगी कि धूप निकलेगा कि क्या होगा, लेकिन I can be prepared. So I am accepting the situation, I am tolerating what I cannot control, and I am taking steps. So think of things, you know, आप जो सोहेल भाई और आसमा बाजी कह रही थी कि बहुत situations आपके हैं जो which is not within your control. सही है, and अल्लाह ताला आपको हिम्मत भी दे कि आप ये situations face कर सके, लेकिन what you cannot change, try and accept it. और आपको शायद हैरत होगी कि मैं ये कह रही हूँ, लेकिन there are lots of situations in my life. I have gone through many difficult situations, you know, and अल्लाह ताला का बहुत मैं शुक्र करती हूँ कि you know I have come to a place that I'm very happy. लेकिन I have also gone through, like मैं आपसे ये शेयर करती हूँ कि मैं जब पहली बार US में आई, तब मैं एक सहेली के घर रह रही थी और हमारा इतना खराब झगड़ा हुआ कि she told me to leave my house. I was staying with her. So I've been through a situation like that also. So, and I'm just telling you this to let you know that बाहर से जो दिखता है ना, that is not always reality. मैंने बहुत साल रो के भी गुजारे हैं, लेकिन और सच पूछे तो मैंने अल्लाह ताला से बहुत ये भी किया है कि अल्लाह मेरी जिंदगी में ऐसा क्यों हुआ, लेकिन you know eventually things have worked out. So you have to have hope. ये again this is actually my last slide. This is it's a model for how you can develop what we call resilience. Resilience is the ability to cope with life's difficulties. So, you know, some of these are internal, like confidence in abilities. आप जो भी कर रहे हैं, confidently करें. आप हमारे एक प्रोफेसर कहते थे, आप मिस्टेक भी करें ना, confidently करें कि भाई मुझे पता है मैं मिस्टेक कर रहा हूँ या कर रही हूँ. Okay? Interpersonal confidence, किसी के साथ बात करना, you know, come across as confident. हो सकता है कि आप अंदर internally बहुत ही nervous हो. Like right now, I'm still very nervous, but शायद मेरे voice में नहीं पता चल रहा है. लेकिन, you know, things are happening. For example, when the slide is not working, I'm getting more agitated. लेकिन obviously visual नहीं है तो आप देख तो नहीं सकते हैं, लेकिन you can see, I mean my hands are shaking, but I'm doing a good job of pretending like I'm not. Okay, so again यहाँ जो सब है सब कुछ it's pretty self-explanatory, so I won't go into that. The only one thing I would say where I'll talk about is the emotional control. Emotional control doesn't mean that you don't feel emotions and that you don't express emotions. It means that you decide that, bhai, now is not the time for me to be angry. Now is not the time for me to be upset. Yes, I am angry, I am upset, but now is not the time for me to show it. I will deal with the expression of that emotion later. Lekin I can still feel angry. I can feel nervous and still do the work. I can feel upset, I can feel hopeless, but still do what I'm supposed to do. That is emotional control. Okay? All right, so shayad hamare paas.
We have plenty of time.
Okay, so I want to open it up for questions.
I have a couple of questions, Dr. Durriya, over here. One question is, I usually get anxious when I'm studying, even though the exams are not near.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the distraction strategy I can use?
Okay, deep breathing. What I would suggest to this person is कि आप वो जो मैंने Pomodoro method जो बताया ना कि आप 20 minutes study करें, 5 minutes time ले, ये 5 minutes में just do some deep breathing. And anxiety is an internal response, ना, so it may not have something to do with the external thing. या 5 minutes में आप जाके आप जहाँ study कर रहे हैं वहाँ से उठ के just go get a drink of water, something like that. वो जो 5 minutes की जो distraction होती है ना, that can be helpful.
Okay. Here's another one. What to do if someone is going through fear of death and can't stop thinking about it?
See, that fear of death is also a form of anxiety. A fear of, and if you think about it, death is something we cannot control, right? So it's a fear of something that you cannot control. This is where you have to practice acceptance. See, मैं जो आपको ये भेजूंगी ना handout, उसमें there are 3 or 4 handouts. This is a big thing now in the US about practicing gratitude. मतलब शुक्र करना. अब हम, those of us who are from that area of the country, that area of the world, शुक्र करना, whether it's Allah Ta'ala का शुक्र करे या माँ बाप की करे, that's part of our culture. That is how we grow up. But this is actually practicing that, thinking of things during the day that you are thankful for. Little things, कि आज मैं university पहुँच गई और मेरे साथ बुरा कुछ नहीं हुआ. Things, little things like that. Okay, so fear of death. In another way of thinking is fear of something that you cannot control, right? So think about other things in your life that you cannot control. There are many things. It's not just that, right? Having said that, I want to say that fear of death can also have a religious issue. If you think that this is something religious and it's coming because of your fear of qabr mein kya hona hai, then that is something that you can go talk to your imam or maulvi or somebody that you trust. Tazbih वगैरह भी है. But if you're talking about generally in life, and whatever religious, spiritual जो भी हो, all that should be a part of your life. If you truly believe in Allah या a higher power या कुछ भी हो, make that a part of your life, because that can be very helpful. So again, approach it in different ways. Remind yourself that it's not necessarily a fear of death, it's a fear of something that I cannot control. And if I cannot control it, does it make sense for me to be afraid? So self-talk. the example I'm giving is of a self-talk. Okay, it's like having a dialogue with yourself. Okay, you know, think that a friend of yours has come and is talking to you, कि भाई I have this fear. So how would you talk to that friend? And that is another important thing. You know, आप अपने आप से जो बातें करते हैं, हम लोग जैसे मैं कह रही थी कि you know we tend to say, oh I'm so stupid. आप अपने friend को कभी ये कहेंगे कि you're so stupid? नहीं ना. So be your own best friend.
Okay. Here is a couple of more that I got.
Okay.
Let me pick this one. This is interesting.
Sohail bhai, I just want to tell you that I don't have anything right now, so I can stay for the questions, or
Good.
but I want to be respectful of the students.
No problem. This is good because this is important, in my opinion. There are at least, I think I have 6 more questions over here.
I'm just thank you to the students कि आप लोगों ने, you know, you listen to me and you're asking questions. I'm very happy about that.
ये क्वेश्चन मेरा ख्याल है मैं इसको बुलिंग में रखूंगा.
अच्छा.
कहते हैं people call me names.
Okay.
And they comment on the way I talk and the way I look. What should I do to cope those miserable comments? You need to work on your spelling, whoever wrote this.
Acha. Miserable comments, right? So this goes to that. This goes back to the strategy I was talking about, the toxic environment. Basically, what the bullies are doing is creating a toxic environment, right? आप उनको तो बदल नहीं सकते. आप अपनी environment को भी नहीं बदल सकते in the sense कि if this is happening in a university, तो आप ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि आप university छोड़ के चले जाएंगे. देखिए मेरे अब्बू है ना बचपन में एक कहते थे, he used to always say, because honestly I've been a victim of bullying also, very bad bullying, you know, especially मेरे skin color पे, because I'm on the darker side. तो वो जैसा होता है ना पाकिस्तान इंडिया बांग्लादेश में, तो हमें मुझे तो कहा जाता था कि मैं मेरी you know that I'm not really my parents' daughter, so because I'm darker than all of them. So my Abu would tell me कि you know, let the dogs bark, what does the mountain care. अब छोटी थी तो इसकी अहमियत मुझे, you know, I didn't understand that, but I'm giving you this knowing that you cannot, you know, you cannot stop the dogs from barking. You know, I know I'm using bad language, but just to give you an example, okay, you cannot stop them from saying what they are saying, but you can stop yourself from reacting to it. And by reacting, I mean ऐसा नहीं है कि आप सोचे this doesn't bother me. Yes, it bothers you. Yes, I don't know if it's a male or a female who wrote that, but I'll give my example. मैं घर जाके रोती थी, बहुत रोती थी, लेकिन फिर मैं अब्बू अम्मी के पास जाके, you know, they would say कि भाई तुम तो हमारी बेटी हो ना, तुम्हें तो पता है ना, फिर कोई कुछ भी कह दे. So similar, find somebody that you can trust, one person, and that one person can be your rock. Okay? Yes, the way you speak is funny, so what? And ये जो attitude है, so what attitude, it takes time to build up. Okay, it's not like एक दिन आप जाके कहेंगे, oh, so what? It takes time. Give yourself time. Know that you are struggling. Accept that you are struggling, and then do whatever you need to do to build a defense or a barrier. Yeah, this is what we call resilience, actually, coping with life's difficulties. So they may be making fun of your accent, they may be making fun of the way you look, the way you walk, everything. Lekin maybe you can prove what a good student you are, or what a kind person you are, so that they can then hang their heads in shame.
Okay. Here is another one. There are more questions, by the way. Ma'am, I always have a fear of speaking up, like answering or questioning in the class while giving presentation.
Yeah.
My heartbeat goes so fast that I could not speak.
Yeah. It's
How
a
to
fear of
control
public
this?
speaking. तो मैं आपको एक I'm going to give you an exercise that you have to do. First of all, public speaking आपने जो describe किया that is an anxiety है, and a lot of us go through that, including me. Okay, so one way to prevent that, or one way to work through this, is आप mirror के सामने जाके खड़े होके do a presentation. Talk to yourself in front of a mirror. You know, that is actually, it sounds very silly, like it is the toughest thing to do. Because remember what I said, that हम अपने आप से इतनी खराब बातें करते हैं, we put ourselves down the most. We are our worst critics. So invariably, आप वो mirror के सामने जब practice करेंगे ना, तो you will be using such bad language for yourself. Nobody will use that for you. So that is how you practice. Practice in front of others. आपके जो friends हो. It doesn't matter if they understand or not, if they are not from the same university. You're not practicing the actual presentation. You're practicing how to get through.
Okay. All right, James. Hello.
Hello, Ji.
Binish, do you want to say something? Oh no. All right. So she just muted herself. That's mean that. So here's another question. How to deal with the job when which keeps you to stick to the laptop screen in front of you and cell phone on your ear, and unscheduled task, daily, late, off. You understand the question, Dr. Durriya?
Yeah. How to deal with a job that keeps you glued to the laptop and the cell phone, right?
Yeah, cell phones, and then making you to work on unscheduled tasks, and daily you are late. You have to stay late.
Okay. Again,
These are the starters, that the freshmen who are starting new jobs.
Okay. Yeah, this is see, first of all, when you start a new job now, unfortunately, we don't have much say. You know? So again, this is a toxic environment which where you cannot change the situation. लेकिन ठीक है, आप you are glued to the laptop or the cell phone. Okay, but आपको फिर भी breaks तो मिलती होगी ना, like you can take like a 2-minute, 5-minute break where you can just lean back in your chair and close your eyes. You know, या तो आप वहाँ आपकी जो work area में भी आप, if you just stand up and stretch your body, particularly your neck area and all that, do those little things throughout the day. You know, take a break after every 1 hour. Take a 2-minute break. You know, you'll be more efficient. Now the unscheduled tasks, you know, I'm not sure what exactly what kind of tasks they are. I will say that I know these might be new jobs और आप अपने boss को कुछ नहीं कह सकते हैं. But if you can ask if you think you have a relationship, and can ask very politely that can I do this tomorrow, or can I do आज मुझे ये, or let them know ahead of time. भाई you know, जुमा को मुझे not जुमा, sorry, Thursday को मुझे ये करना है, आपकी कोई task हो तो आप मुझे पहले से बता दें, or something like that. You know, think. I don't know what kind of person your boss is. Or you can talk to somebody who has been there for a longer time and how they managed this. So find people that you can talk to and strategize.
Okay, my brother is. Hold on, just a. And I got another question, so it moves. My brother is having anxiety and he's thinking over and over again about his past and not thinking or doing anything for his future.
What this person is describing is depression. Depression is more that sadness about, it's like जो बीत गया वो 100 बीत गया वो, it's not like that. It's like a more focusing on the past and then allowing and having no hope about the future. So depression, what we say depression में behavioral activation. Okay, ठीक है. They can be sad, they can be anxious, but they can still do what they need to do. So it's like saying that feelings है, ठीक है, depression है, लेकिन फिर भी काम करना है. It's और जब वो कुछ करेंगे ना, and if he gets success from that ना, it will help him more. So it's called, even for example, even when he doesn't want to talk on the phone, he should talk on the phone and accept that, yeah, I don't want to and I will do this. So that छोटे things, start small, like if he's not going out, tell him it doesn't matter if you are not feeling good, let's just go out. And going out मतलब घर के बाहर या तो रूम के बाहर निकलना, घर के बाहर निकलना, just go a few feet, whatever. एकदम वो हम लोग, we always say that start with baby steps. एक कदम, 2 कदम, गिर जाएंगे, वापस आगे बढ़ेंगे, that kind of thing.
So what he should do as a brother, like how do if the person is not ready to listen, what should he do as a brother? As a brother, encourage him and be with him. Like चलो मैं चलता हूँ, या तो this is a person who has a brother, and this brother is asking, yeah, how can I help them? Yes.
Okay. Sorry, so I got the question wrong. The brother has to make a commitment to at least start talking to this person, to his brother. कि भाई, I'm worried about you. I care about you. इसलिए I want to see some changes. If you don't want to talk to me, who is the person that you can talk to? If again, step by step. Help the brother do something good. Even if it's something like a game, a carom board ki game jo ho, spend that time with him. Make your brother feel that he is important. So what? All of us have mistakes in the past, right? Let's focus on the present so that we can develop a better future. And in the present, you can tell your brother, okay, I am with you. If you think you cannot trust me, then let's find somebody that you can trust. I know that Pakistan mein there are some psychiatrists. मेरी जो एक student है, she is also from Pakistan. Her parents are seeing a psychiatrist. So that can be one option. Psychiatrist के पास जाके psychiatrist can give an antidepressant medication if the depression is severe.
Okay. Then there is another one who said that I am in a group, and in that group there are people that I really don't like. I don't like those people. So the question is, their behaviors are not good. How do you work with that type of in that type of a group?
The easiest solution would be like a group, as in work group.
Yeah, it seems like it is like a work group.
Acha. So when you're saying that behavior is not good, matlab they are not fulfilling their responsibility.
ये clear नहीं है कि किस type का है, लेकिन seems to me that ये यूं समझ लें कि आप एक final year के project पे काम कर रहे हैं. And you eventually find out somebody that you thought was good enough for the group, and eventually finding out that their behavior is not so good.
Acha.
So how do you cope up with it? Because now you are stuck. You have to finish up your capstone, and then you have to work with this person.
Okay. So that is something that, the first step I would suggest is having a conversation with that person. Okay, this is a group project. We have to work on it together. आप नहीं करोगे तो it will impact me also. So if you want to be in the group, that's okay. If you don't want to be in the group, let's go to the professor. And Sohail bhai, I just want to mention that, I'm not familiar with the system of education there. I can extrapolate.
That's what I said. That I use the word capstone.
Yeah. So I understand that. So I think, I don't know in the sense if this person can go to their professor and talk to them about it. My first suggestion would be to go to talk to this person, or talk to somebody else who is facing the same problem as the student we are talking to. And if not, can they go to a professor?
Here's a couple of good ones. One of them is, how do you build self-awareness?
How do you build self-awareness? That's a good one. I'm sorry?
And then there is another one.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that if you are depressed, just give yourself some false excuse to divert your mind from that particular situation you are facing. Well, this never helped me.
Mm-hmm.
It never helped me because deep inside I know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he stopped.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to answer these two questions together, okay? Because the answer of the first question actually lies in the second question. This is a person who said that I tried to distract myself and it didn't help. That's a really good example of self-awareness. This person tried something, it didn't work. So, ये student को मैं ये कहूँगी कि if distracting yourself did not work, then take the next step. Because you're right, depression में, in fact, depression में हम लोग कहते हैं कि when you're struggling with severe depression or serious depression, you should never make a serious decision.
Durriya, we just lost you. We just lost you.
Again?
Can you repeat your answer, please?
Yeah. So I'll just repeat the answer to the whole question. That the answer to the first question actually lies in the second question, where the person said that मैंने ये कोशिश की थी, लेकिन it's not working. So that is self-awareness, knowing what works for you or what doesn't work for you. All right. So I would say to the second question, the person who asked the second question, कि जब आपके लिए, if the distraction has not worked, then something more needs to be done. And in fact, depression में हम कहते हैं, one of our suggestions is that never make a serious decision when you're depressed, because ये जो, so for example, मैं job change कर लूँगी, या तो मैं अपना मैं घर बदलना, those things don't work, because after the excitement of that new decision is gone, you're still depressed. So that's exactly what this person is saying, that मैंने distract करने की कोशिश की, लेकिन it has not worked. You're right, it will not work. What can work is for you to understand what is the source of the depression. Try to understand, for example, and try to figure out, is this something I have no control over? If I have control over it, how can I change it? If I have no control over it, then it makes no sense to think in terms of control. Okay. If I can control it, if you come up with the answer that yes, I can control it, so then how are some ways? जैसे this last diagram, the last slide that's up, it says emotional control and life control, right? So what do you do? What do you do? Is this something that I can change in the present? Is this something that I can change in the future? Things like that. So it's sort of like a flow chart, you know, कि मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ, क्या नहीं कर सकती हूँ. And this is one more time I will say, look for support. You know, कोई तो होगा आपकी जिंदगी में जिसको आप ट्रस्ट करते हैं, आप उससे बात कर सकते हैं. And to answer the question of self-awareness, this self-awareness is something that you can build by really taking some time to reflect who you are. What do your friends say about you? What does your family say about you? एक simple example देती हूँ. You know, लोग हमेशा कहते हैं, और बचपन से सुनती आई हूँ, कि सुबह early morning उठ के study करना is the best, right? Because your mind is fresh. I tried that. जब मैं HSC दे रही थी, मैंने बहुत कोशिश की, लेकिन it did not work. For me, what worked was staying up at night. So, yes, this is a strategy that can work for 99% of people. Lekin I'm in the 1% that it doesn't work. That's self-awareness. Okay? I'm not a morning person. I know that my biggest challenge is getting to places on time. So I tell myself I have to get there 15, जब वो GPS वगैरह में कुछ डालती हूँ, I always put it 15 minutes ahead. So that even if I'm running late, I'm still on time. So that is an example of self-awareness. And फिर कोई मुझे पूछता है कुछ ऐसी कोई बात होती है, तो मैं कहती हूँ कि भाई, this is a challenge for me. I'm honest about it. But it's taken me a long time to come to this.
Okay.
Did I answer both questions?
Sure, please. Thank you. There are a few more questions. Okay. I think you might have given the answer of this one, but let me ask it again, and we can quickly move on to the next one. The question is, what if the slight change in the behavior of the people you barely know, like your classmates, affect you the most? It hurts you to the extent that you start crying and cannot stop overthinking. What do you do in that situation?
First of all, my question would be a slight challenge to this person. Okay, why do people who you barely know, why are they impacting you so much? There can be two possible options. One is that these people are more important to you than you think they are, or that you are allowing everybody, you're being impacted by things that don't really matter. So if these are people who are important to you, then you have to realize that yes, of course, their behavior will impact you. But if these people are not important, then that is reflecting on you that, maybe you have some anxiety. And probably this anxiety is evident in other areas of your life as well. So then you have to go, if these people are important to you, then you have to address it with them, right? कि हो सकता है ना, they might be doing something without knowing what the impact is on you. So giving them the benefit of the time, benefit of the doubt. But if this is you who's being impacted by these people, then think about yourself. Is this a sign of anxiety? And then you take the steps to work through that anxiety. So first you have to figure out, is this a me problem or is that a them problem?
Okay. There are 3 or 4 more, just okay. Quickly. So here it is, another one. In past, we've done this. If you are depressed. Okay. Ma'am, after 16 years of education, we still feel depressed for not getting a job. How can we handle this? How can we motivate ourselves daily as we are demotivated most of the time?
This is a tough one, but I understand. See, yes, you're right. After all these years of education, the question is, ke, ab kya kare, you know? See, first of all, this is something you don't have control over, in the sense getting a job. But what you have control over is sending in your applications, right? Don't give up on that. Okay? कहीं ना कहीं इधर से भी तो कुछ ना कुछ तो होगा ना. And I know that Pakistan ki culture is very different, but I will give you an example of my own that happened to me. तो मैंने जब after I finished my masters, मेरे अब्बू का इंतकाल हो गया, तो I had to suddenly go back to Bangladesh. Okay, बांग्लादेश में तब तो psychology का कोई नामो निशान भी नहीं थी. So I actually started working in a bank. I worked in and for a very low paying job. So I started working in a bank. I started working in a travel agency. Fortunately, I had a क्या कहते हैं उसको certification in travel and tourism. So I did that. और बैंक के जो director थे ना, his friend was a registrar for a new private university that was being established at that time. And that's how I got into psychology in Bangladesh. So sometimes होता है ना कि हमें detour लेना पड़ता है. And was I going through a hard time? Yes, absolutely. And when I went into the bank, I thought to myself, you know, all my years of education, I had done my master's in the US. I said, you know, this degree I have from America, it's going to be of no use. But I don't know where I got the strength from. Maybe my mother, maybe Allah Ta'ala. I said, okay, bank mein mujhe job milti hai, let me at least do that. At least it will get me out. It will get me connected. So sometimes you have to take a detour to get to your goal. But at the same time, keep sending your applications. Keep talking to people. Networking ka jo power hai na, whether it doesn't matter whether you are in the US or you are in Pakistan or you are in some island. Networking is the most important way people get jobs.
And as I keep advising you guys all the time that, you know, no matter what your first job offer is, if you don't have anything lined up except that first offer, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you start creating that network that Dr. Durriya is talking about, that you need to go and meet different people. And unless you are out from your house, you will not going to do that. No matter how far that first job is, no matter how low pay that job is going to give you, take it. It's better than...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
नहीं, मैं just कह रही थी कि the first job is just a stepping stone. Think of it as, you know, आपको नदी पार जाना है, लेकिन नदी के उस पार जाने के लिए आपको you have to step on something. All right? So just take it.
Okay. There are two questions, and one is the follow-up question. Okay. Remember that brother's situation?
Yeah.
He's saying that the issue is that he does trust no one. So what can we do when he's not trusting anybody to open up?
Maybe he's not trusting somebody in the family. What about outside the family?
Oh, okay. Maybe a friend or somebody.
Yeah. And I think that needs to be said to him verbally, you know, recognizing that, you know, there may be reasons you don't trust us, but, you know, I care about you and I want to see you get better. I mean, of course, you know, the language, whatever way he wants to say it, I want to get you get. So let me take you to somebody that you trust, whether it's a friend, whatever, whoever.
There's another one who said that I usually get really stressed about the fact that I don't get praised enough for my success. Same goes to my sibling. I think we really don't know how to appreciate each other.
Well, I gave you some examples. I gave you some. You have to appreciate each other. You have to say out aloud, thank you. Something like thank you is an appreciation, right? If you're right that we are bad at appreciating ourselves, but it's easier to compliment others. And when they give you a compliment, just take it. What is our habit? You know, when somebody gives a compliment, especially here is something that I want to tell you that research has shown, and which is very gendered. Okay, so हम लड़कियां क्या करती हैं कि when somebody gives us a compliment ना, usually हम लोग we respond by, oh, array, it's nothing. It was just luck that I did well. On the other hand, men usually will accept a compliment. और इसमें क्या है कि this feeds into our lack of self-confidence. So when somebody is giving you a compliment, accept it and say thank you. Thank you for appreciating. Same thing, do with your siblings. Tell them, make it a point, and tell them to make it a point also. Okay. You cannot, I mean, you know, whether your boss appreciates you or not, or whether your professor appreciates or not, you don't know. But आपके siblings जो शायद आपकी उम्र के हो, उनको तो कह सकते हैं ना आप, आपके अम्मी अब्बू या other family members who you're close to, tell them that just say thank you. This is one way to build up my confidence. And bottom line is, speaking to this student, bottom line is that if nobody compliments you, then you have to compliment yourself. ये जो confidence in your own abilities. Knowing that what you did, whether somebody recognizes it or not, knowing that what you did is the best you did.
The last question is, right from joining NED University, either I do not eat properly the whole day or eat more than 2-person meal at a time. What should I do to have a normal life?
I would say eat normally throughout the day. Make sure that you're carrying some snack with you. Make sure that, you know, at least you have a healthy breakfast. अगर आपके पास इतना time नहीं हो कि, you know, you're just drinking a cup of tea, then बस में तो आप बस में travel कर रहे हो, जैसे भी travel कर रहे हो, walk कर रहे हो, आप कुछ ना कुछ तो हाथ में रख सकते हो ना, sandwich की तरह. So make it a point to pack your meal. I'm giving a very simplistic answer, not knowing the total circumstances, but I think, you know, कुछ नहीं होता, एक हाथ में fruit, apple की तरह तो आप रख सकते हैं ना. So even eating multiple apples throughout the day until you can go back home and have dinner, that will keep you, and drinking a lot of water.
Is this thing due to anxiety, depression, or tension?
हो सकता है, टाइम हो सकता है, एंजाइटी, डिप्रेशन, टेंशन हो सकता है कि ये मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है खाने का, लेकिन आपके पास अगर खाने का टाइम नहीं है तो फिर योर ब्रेन इज गोइंग टू से मेरे पास टाइम, एनर्जी नहीं है पढ़ने की, यू नो. सो you have to feed different parts of your body. So you have to feed your body by food. You have to feed your soul through taking some time. You have to feed your brain by sleeping. Essay.
And I think this goes also to the fact that you had in your presentation about self-awareness. At least he understands or she understands that he or she is having this issue. Yeah. That he sometimes he don't eat at all, or sometimes they eat too much, and this might be a problem.
Yes, because their body is starved, na? So of course they will eat too much, but they are not eating for nutrition again. And nutrition nahi milne se phir, you know, the body is going to behave in different ways. They are going to feel, dizzy or something at different times, or they might feel sleepy during the day, because the body doesn't have a uniform level of nutrition.
Okay. All right, Dr. Durriya, I think this this was a great presentation. It was a great discussion, and I appreciate the time, and specifically it is more of us, these students who got too much benefit, in my opinion, from it, and hope these questions that they have asked can help them in understanding how they can live a very fruitful, normal, and healthy life. And I really want to thank you, Dr. Durriya. It's a pleasure working with you. Thank you for spending so many hours with us, not only during the presentation, but even ensuring that the presentation take place, planning for the whole presentation, and working with me at unusual night times. Really appreciate all what you have done. Thank you. Thank you.
I want to thank you कि आपने, you thought about me. I'm really honored. I don't know these students, but I hope that whatever I've said will touch them at some level. And now I'm saying it myself. आपको कोई भी सवाल हो, please आप मुझे email कर सकते हैं, WhatsApp कर सकते हैं, कुछ भी. I'll be more than happy to at least listen. Even if I can't help you with your problem, I'm happy to listen. This is very
Dr. It will be great if you can pass us those flyers that we're talking about.
Yes,
also, your presentation will be great. We can, on our website, when we post the video lecture, we also try to put down the presentations and all the materials over there at one place.
Okay, हाँ मैं कर दूँगी. मैं just give me until Monday because I forgot my.
Don't worry, we have plenty of time. You don't have to rush on these things.
Okay, I can send you the presentation today. The only thing I cannot send is the handouts, which I will send on Monday.
By the way, there are plenty, and I think I'm not sure these guys are doing it privately or on. I think they are all doing the praising your presentation. Praisements are coming on my private account. You guys can do it on to everybody. So. Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Durriya, thank you for your time. One said, thank you, ma'am, for your precious time and information. The other said that was, thank you so much. This is one of the finest one that we have listened. This was a great section. Thank you so much. Then, yep, these are some of the comments that we got. Again, thank you, ma'am, for all your precious time. Jazakallah, ma'am, for your suggestions and for your time. Really appreciate, Dr. Durriya. The students are very appreciative of what you said. Really, thank you.
आप लोगों को सबको बहुत शुक्रिया. And again, I apologize for my tuta-kuta Urdu.
It was great. I didn't trust me. I told you a couple of times. It is great. Again, on behalf of NED Scholars, thank you, and hope we can have one more session soon in near future.
Anytime. This is what I really look forward to. Yes, मेरे students इसमें भी है, लेकिन ये जो students के साथ काम करना, that is what really motivates me. So
thank you.
Thank you again, Dr. Sohail. और इंशाल्लाह मैं तो आती रहती हूँ मिशिगन, so next time आऊँगी तो जरूर.
Sure. Let me know when you are here.
Okay? मेरे भाई वगैरह उन लोग इसमें रहते हैं, विंसर में. So.
Oh, good. That's very close.
I fly to Detroit all the time.
Okay. Inshallah. Chala, thank you. Thank you all for attending, guys. Have a good day. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.